And now it's time for Leadership of the Leaf with Dice and Austin. Let's jump in with a cut and a light.
Welcome back to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf. My name is Austin.
And I'm Dice.
And Dice, what are you smoking on today?
I am smoking a cane straight Negro.
Citizen cane?
I think it's made by Oliva.
Oliva.
And I was reading too, it says strong, complex, and smooth.
Smooth. Very nice, very nice.
Just like my Hennessy.
I was going to say, I don't even know why I bother asking you anymore what you're pairing it with, because it's just Hennessy.
Hennessy VS, sir.
What? I mean, I would say what a surprise, but it's really not a surprise at all.
How about yourself?
I am smoking a Charter Oak, Connecticut cigar.
All right. I like Charter.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of a budget brand, but not really.
All right. And you are pairing it with?
I decided to go with a mojito.
No one is ever upset if you ever drink a mojito.
Yeah, I didn't. And in fairness, I ran out of bourbon, so I drank too much bourbon. So I had rum, so I made a mojito.
My kid said something about Hennessy. It's like, I think you have enough, and I was like, "What? Are you serious?
Listen,
Let me teach you something right now, kid.
What are you, my wife? Chill out.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing at all. There's never too much Hennessy.
No, my wife went. She goes, hey, I'm gonna go buy some more bourbon. Do you want the small or the big bottle? I was like, why are you asking this question? Why are we even talking? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about practice? Are we talking about the game? What are we talking about? Practice?
The small bottle's practice.
Yeah,
I'm in it for the game, baby.
I'm here for the game. I'll be talking about practice. I was like, what am I staying at, like a hotel where I'm not really doing anything? Like, what's going on? Like, no, I'm ready to go.
My own punishment or some shit? What the fuck?
Right?
Oh, what's our cigar segment going to be about today?
So, the cigar segment, I want to talk about a little bit about the history and the current image of smoking cigars. Status symbol. What does it mean if somebody sees you smoking a cigar? What do they instantly think of when they see you smoking a stick of tobacco?
All right. Well, I kind of have an idea already.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the things that everyone always mentions when I smoke a cigar in public.
Yeah. Yep. We already know. And then for the leadership topics, we're going to talk about a few things that you should avoid as a leader. There's no set number, but just things you should avoid as a leader. With that being said, I want to jump into the cigar segment. So, obviously, we know cigars are a symbol for wealth and power.
Yes. Ha Kingpin.
Ha! Yes. So, during the reign of Queen Victoria, smoking was basically limited to your home and or a private club. However, after she died, King Edward VII ended the ban by saying, and this is back in olden times, right? Gentlemen, you may smoke.
I can hear that today, sir.
Right? Yeah, right. Gentlemen, you may smoke. Oh, hell yeah! I lit up right there. Bitch, what?
I'm pretty sure that led to everyone like smoking in public.
Yep.
It sets the standard, saying that we are prestigious.
Yeah, all the aristocrats, the courtiers, the court people who made up the king's court. You know, they're smoking in public, and it's those guys must be somebody because they're smoking sticks. And the king said they can smoke, so they must know the king.
But the thing that cigars get, everyone always mentions, be like, it's such a luxurious item. It's a luxury item.
Oh, 100%. But see, my thing is, and this is where I kind of go a little bit off track. But I consider cigarettes a luxury item. You don't require cigarettes, right? It's a luxury item. Same thing with like anything with video games or spirits like alcohol or anything like that. That's still a luxury item.
Correct. Yeah. You know the price of cigarettes nowadays? I have
like $10 a thing. I don't know. It depends on where you go. Each state has a different tobacco tax.
That's crazy.
Yeah, anyway. It's ridiculous. But anyways, yes, they are a luxury item. But back in 1929, when the stock market crashed and people were jumping out of buildings and everything else, there was a substantial decrease in cigar consumption, which actually just further enhances the fact that they are still a luxury item. People didn't have the money to just go out and buy cigars.
Well, yeah, especially like you see celebrities and stuff on TV smoking them. To try to bring it back into the mainstream, it's just during like the Great Depression time frame or whatever, just seeing that is going to put you in that same category.
Right,
well,
like sports.
Make you feel like it.
Yeah, everyone wants to emulate, their favorite sports star, right? Allen Iverson, back in the 90s, was known for a particular way of dressing, and so then that became a way of how a lot of people dressed. Look at the newest Jordans that come out. They want to be like Mike, right? And so everyone wants to do that. So during the Great Depression, they had like Babe Ruth. Well, Babe Ruth was famous for smoking cigars. So they were trying to be like Babe Ruth. And he was a national treasure, so to speak, I guess. So they were trying to do that. I mean, even people like Al Capone, they made millions of dollars from the American Mafia. They were making millions of dollars during Prohibition era selling to not just thieves and criminals and the like, but they were selling to people in the boardroom. People in the boardroom wanted their alcohol just like everybody else did, so they made a bunch of money. So Al Capone was like, I could smoke cigars. Nah, because I'm more of a CEO.
I can just see, I mean, even just thinking of like gangsters and mobs like that, you can't really picture not one of them having a cigar. You can see a group of them, but one of them is going to have a cigar in that group.
100%.
It just synonymous with gangster.
Look at Goodfellas. I mean, there's movies, The Godfather, Goodfellas, Sopranos. I was say Scarface had cigarillos and stuff, but that was more about cocaine than anything else. But but even they still had like cigars. They were smoking cigars because they had the money, right? They had the money because they were. I mean, however they acquired the money is not at issue here. The fact is that they had the money, right?
Yeah. I like those Cuban ones, eh? You go down the store and you pick me up a few of those Cubans.
You bring me back the change. I know how much they cost.
Or a slap in your face.
But
getting hate mail.
Oh yeah. Comment at Dice, right? At Leadership of the Leaf, and then just put Dice. Hate your face. But during back then, so then the 1980s happened, right? The stock market started booming again. We came through the Great Depression. People had more money than they knew what to do with. So they were like, okay, fine. And back then, I picture the 1980s, right? And now all the corporate boardrooms, they had their French cuffs, their suspenders, their slick back hair. The stock market was just booming with men of Wall Street. And they're just smoking cigars because they're like, I just made this big sale. Yeah, sold off this much at 3 1/4, blah, blah, blah. They smoke a cigar. So it became, again, a symbol of wealth, power, success.
Well, during that time frame, I know it was the very beginning phase of a cigar boom. That's when all kinds of manufacturers and different startups will come out with whatever cigar they can get on the market just to sell to whoever they can sell, because people's making money hand over fist. So if they could get a sell, then they'll be good. If they couldn't get a sell, then of course they're going to die off eventually. And now we have some of the mainstays that you see today. There's so many that didn't make it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had the Romeo y Julietas, stuff like that. But even like Arturo Fuente and Macanudo, who are some of the big players, they came around in the 90s. When the first cigar boom was kind of happening, but you still had quite a bit of the old parent companies, so to speak, and those weathered the storm, but a lot more came around.
Yeah, so I could just see in the 90s people thinking they're elite, they're big hot shit because of the stock market in their favor and wearing their cuffs. Would you say that would be near the start of the bespoke era?
Yes, I would say that would be probably right around that bespoke era. Probably the start of it, in all honesty.
Yeah. Who knows?
Only the people who actually write history.
Well, as I see fit today, cigars are still, in my opinion, it's still a status symbol.
Oh, for sure. I mean, today, but they've gone a different approach, right? It's not so much that everything goes through phases, right? So back in the day, it was all about strength, and they didn't want anything that they couldn't feel the punch of and stuff like that. Punch me in the face with nicotine. Hell yeah, I'm a badass. Now that they've kind of taken a little bit more of an artistic approach or a boutique approach, and I liken this to what whiskey and beer are going through, right? You have all these craft breweries, you have all these little tiny distillers of the whiskey and the beers and stuff like that, and they're like, if you pair this whiskey with this other thing and make it a rosemary whatever, and you're like, dude, I just want an old fashioned. No, you gotta have a sprig of rosemary and this and motherfucker. If you don't just put the sugar in the glass with some bitters, some water, and some rum, and then stir it all up, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
But like, if you don't know how to make old fashioned, just say it. Don't talk about rosemary and thyme and shit.
Yeah, and then the beer, they're going through the IPA phases and stuff, where it's like, oh, look at this, it's so bitter and hoppy, it's just so good. And I'm like, IPAs aren't that good. I don't get me wrong, I like an IPA every once in a while, but I don't think they're that good to where people rave about them as much as they should.
I'm not really a beer guy, sir.
You don't say.
Well, I know it's hard to believe.
I know, right? Hennessy just stays the same. All I got to worry about is what color of Hennessy I want.
Vanilla and almond. I love it.
Yes. But now, so as cigars go through this little boutique-y artistic type approach where people are wanting more flavor rather than just strength, they actually want to taste their cigars. So, and then you get the rise of the internet, so people are like able to get more informed because magazines like Cigar Aficionado, Half Wheel, all these other publishers, they're able to post articles online and give the average consumer more information, and then so you can be up on the latest brand and you go, oh yeah, well, Blackwork Studio just put out this other one, and oh, this person just put out this limited release or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of the mainstay tobacco companies, cigar companies out there, they utilize the magazines that you're talking about so they can advertise their boutique-ish type brands, because everyone's going to always go to the usual, the norm. Yeah, everybody's going to go to that, but Padron may start up a little company and start their own boutique brand so they can experiment with flavors and have a limited edition run and all that stuff. Now, back in the day, you walk in, you're like, I'm not getting that shit. I'm just getting whatever I normally get. Yeah. So, but now I see this new boutique brand on the internet or in Cigar Aficionado or something. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was made by Oliva. I didn't know that was made by Davidoff or whatever. And then you pick it up.
I idea Drew Estate made one of those.
Yeah. Well, that only increases the portfolio of all these companies, and of course, increase the flavor profile and find what something you might like, something you may not like. Who knows? Try them all.
Right, exactly. And speaking of flavor profile, how's your first third? Man, that was a great segue. That was a beautiful segue. Patting myself on the back, folks.
Yeah.
Patting it.
There you go. All right.
I'll take it.
Well, I am extremely in love right now because it's cocoa and coffee, and it is smooth.
I might have to pick me up some.
Well, I thought it was going to be
delicious.
harsh because it says Ligero, so I was like, okay. But no, really smooth.
Smooth cocoa and coffee.
Mm-hmm. Based on facts.
So I get vanilla with some balsa wood.
Damn. All right.
Maybe a little bit of cashew in there. But I definitely taste vanilla. It's kind of got a little bit of a sweetness in there, but there's like a woody, cedary. Oh, not quite cedar. That's why I said balsa wood. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely not bad. It's smooth. It's a little bit less fuller bodied than what I would like normally.
All right. Yeah. So it's a little more on the mellow end.
Yeah, 100% on the mellow end, which is not to say that's a bad thing. It's just not what I typically reach for. Don't get me wrong. I like Connecticut's. I feel like this one could just be a little bit stronger. Give me a little bit more of a punch or something, spice or something. I'd be a little bit happier.
Charter Oak is a good stick, but it's like you said, it's a budget stick. So did it hold off?
Maybe. I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad for the price I paid, which I don't know, $6 per stick. I think is what it was, something like that.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's not a bad stick. $6, I'd be okay with it. But for $6, I'd probably, I don't know. I think I could probably go find a Camacho that has a little bit more flavor and be a little bit happier.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
That makes plenty of sense.
I mean, It's not, like I said, it's not a bad stick. I have another one. I'm also, so in fairness and full transparency, I'm not digging this one as much as I should because this thing has been just a draw nightmare. I actually had to do a king's cut or a crown cut on it.
All right.
Just to try to open up that draw a little bit. I've poked it a couple times try to open up that draw, and it's just not quite opening it up the way I want it to, which I think might mute the flavors a little bit. So I'm hoping the second one that I smoke will be a little bit better, a little bit more flavorful, and be a lot happier with it. All right.
Well, I like it, sir. I like your full transparency there.
Yeah, but I think back to the boutique brands. I think Cigar's status symbol has changed. I think it's not just, hey, he's rich, he's this, he's that, and that's why he's smoking a cigar. I think it's more along the lines of, hey, what stick do you have? Oh, well, I have this limited edition Eye of the Tiger from Davidoff because it's the Chinese New Year. Yes, it's Year of the Pig. Like, okay, cool. Like, oh, they only made 300 of these and I have one. Okay, so it's not just that you're smoking a cigar. It's you're smoking the rarest or most flavorful or the highest rated cigars sometimes. And that's not, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that. They create great cigars. Everyone creates good cigars, but I think it's changed to a more rare. The rarer the cigar, obviously, the better it is. Oh, this is a $300 cigar. Okay,
yeah,
but it tastes like shit. So, are you really happy with your decision?
I have noticed that, like, you'll see online or something that, like, there's only going to be 500 of these released, and a part of me is like, oh man, I wouldn't mind trying one of them. But the other part of me is like, I'm not going to go chase something that I'm going to love. I'm going to fall in love with it forever, and there's only 300.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, manufacturers are now trying to create and market their cigars in limited editions. One-off. Hey, Padron 1964 Anniversario series that won Cigar of the Year in 2021. Fuck you pieces of shit. Cigars based off of movies or TV shows. They had the CAO had the Soprano. There's a Sons of Anarchy cigar.
Mayans.
There's a Mayan cigar. Yes. So they're like, oh, look, we have these limited edition. Oh, look, we have it's you like mainstream media. All right, here, boom, here's that cigar based off of this show. Like it's rough and tumble, just like the Sons of Anarchy. All right, dude, got it. It's a cigar. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't get it. Some people live for that chase. I think that's a whole nother level of brotherhood of the leaf that goes out and try to find these rare of the rare. I'm just not that guy. I enjoy a good stick, just moving forward.
And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it by any means. By all means, there's nothing wrong with chasing down that thrill. Everyone gets the thrill somehow, some way. If yours is going and getting the rare sticks, go for it. Do you, boo? I ain't mad at you. All I'm saying is that I don't care to do it.
Yeah, I could see cigar companies doing that, what's that, FOMO?
Yeah,
fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So I can see that. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like you said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you're not going to get me.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the whole thing is meant to capture the magic and create that sense of luxury, like being in the show, or oh yeah, I got this. Oh man, I paid $300 for this one cigar that they made 500 of, and I got one. Like, okay, it's eventually going to go up in smoke. You know that, right? Like, but I also think that now people are also going, oh, mine is a Mexican Puro, and no, mine's Nicaraguan with Honduran filler, and then I have a Indonesian binder or something like that. And I'm not saying that those are bad things, but they're also talking more people are talking. I've heard more talk about construction of cigars with what type of different tobacco are in the cigars at your regular brick and mortars. I've heard that more talk about that than I have in the past 5-10 years.
Yeah, the image of cigars is definitely changing that aspect of calling someone a cigar aficionado, thanks to the magazine. Anyone that's like captivated by smoking a cigar and actually enjoy it, they're going to get into the deep dive of it to enjoy it a little more. You kind of deconstruct what you love.
Right. I mean, cigars are still somewhat of a niche, kind of a market, so to speak, because nowadays most everybody is, hey, can you share it over social media? Can you share it across the internet? Can you, if I'm watching a video and I see somebody smoking a cigar, okay, cool. I just scroll to the next video. I don't smell the smoke. I don't get the aroma. I wonder what that tastes like. I don't get any of that stuff. So they have to sit there and pair it. That's why a lot of times I think you see on these forums or the Facebook groups or whatever have you, these guys and gals they'll smoke a cigar, but they'll be in like clothes, or they have a nice wristwatch on, or they have all these everything else to try to make you feel like, oh, see, I have all this stuff, and look how good I look, and now, yeah, by the way, I have a cigar with me, and it's Perdomo. Like, okay, cool, like that's great, but you still can't taste what the Perdomo tastes like,
Well, yeah, they're trying to portray like an image. I mean, just like when cigarettes, Winston cigarettes had the cowboy, and the Camel was cool and stuff like
Joe
that.
Camel.
So, yeah. So on social media, that's how they're going to try to present it. And that's fair. That's fun, I guess. But if you ever go to an average cigar lounge, you're not going to pick up on what watch the guy is wearing. You're not even really going to care. The whole thing about these tubes of tobacco is just for everyone to enjoy, to relax, and pull the common man together. So the image of smoking a cigar is more of a brotherhood, in my opinion, from what I see on my side. Because I'm not over there trying to rub elbows with the millionaire. I'm just trying to rub elbows with someone that enjoys Ligero just as much as I do.
Right, yeah, and that's my thing. And we've talked about this in the past. You go to a cigar shop or a lounge or whatever, and you start smoking. You have no idea who's sitting next to you. Could be the owner of the cigar shop. Could be the owner of a sports team. You have no idea. You're just sitting there having a good conversation, and that's what it's all about. In my eyes.
That's all I really want anyway. Good company, good fun, good smokes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all it's really Really good. You in your second third? Or you need to wait until after the break?
I'm pretty close to it. I don't want to give it any injustice. Is that injustice? Is that a word?
Yep. It's also a video game, I think.
Video game. Do I play video games?
I don't know.
No. The answer is no.
Well, all right then. Fair enough.
All
right.
Nah, I'm kidding. I'm just having fun.
Yeah. Well, all right. So tell me, you want to wait till after the break to do your second third?
Yeah. Are you gonna? Yeah. Let's just do it after the break.
Yeah.
We'll do it right after the break.
We'll come back from the break, and Dice will tell us all about his second third, so that way he can do it justice.
We'll be back.
Don't forget, we need to follow the podcast so we know when new episodes drop.
All right, welcome back. We had a short break, and I was just getting in my second third here.
Yes. We are all waiting on bated breath for you to tell us what your second third is.
The second third of my cigar, the cocoa kind of wore off and is leaning more towards leather and oak. It still has a slight sweetness to it. I want to say maybe it could be like leftover coffee, but it's definitely more of a leather component coming in.
Okay. So mine is cedar. I'll say like a nutty, like almost like maybe a cashew or something. And then a little bit of pepper's crept in the back end. That vanilla has kind of gone away. It's been replaced by pepper.
Oh. That seems like a very different transition, vanilla to pepper.
It was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's not bad. It's, I asked for more spice. I'm getting more spice.
There you go.
I can't complain, right?
No? Well, you can, but...
I can't. Then I'm going to be a loser.
All right. So we're going to talk about some things you should avoid as a leader.
Yeah. I already know everything. Don't worry about me. I know everything about it is to do about this topic. We can just go ahead and skip it.
We can just go ahead and skip it. That's way. I saw what you did there. Because one of the first things is, one thing a leader shouldn't do is believe they know everything.
Oh, I shouldn't do that?
Nah.
But I know everything.
This is the one where most people roll their eyes. And, it happens more often than you would think.
Yeah, this is the one everyone says, oh, you guys can't think you know everything. And I was like, yeah. No one ever thinks they know everything. And da-da-da. And then and then next time you sit in there your subordinate or your wife or whoever is trying to talk, and you're trying to finish their
they're trying to finish their thoughts for them.
Yeah, exactly like that. You're basically telling them that you already know everything, and you may not do it consciously, but it's subconsciously that you're sitting there just being like, I don't need you in my team, because anything you bring to the team I already know, and I'm just gonna walk away.
You're basically yelling that out loud to anyone that can hear it.
Right.
I don't need you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, if I'm gonna sit there and finish somebody's thought, or try to guess what they're thinking and cut them off, which upsets me to the nth degree, because my wife does that to me all the time. I'll be sitting there talking and trying to tell her my idea, and she'll go off in a different direction of what I was saying, and I was like, are you done? Because I was not. That's not what I was gonna say. And she's like, oh, sorry. And then I'll tell her, and she's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And I'm like, so maybe if you shut the fuck up, you'd learn something. And then I sleep on the couch.
It's okay, buddy.
I know.
I'm there too.
All right.
Because I'm the one that tries to finish my wife's stuff. She's like, that's not at all what I was going to say.
You're like, oh, my bad.
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
So instead, make it a habit of asking questions. Make it a habit of seeking advice.
Right. There's an ancient proverb that still holds true to this day. And it basically says, in the abundance of counselors, there is wisdom. Meaning, you have people on your team for a reason. They're put there for a reason, whether you want them there or not, whether you got to choose them or not. They're there for a reason. Use them. Ask them the questions. Hey, what do you guys think about this? I have that. Oh, please tell me you just ashed in your lap.
Yeah, and I also burned myself.
Anyways. Sorry, folks. I just saw it making a face and it made me laugh. So they're there for a reason. Ask them the question. You don't know everything. I don't know how many times you just can't. I don't know how many times I'm like, hey, I think this is a great way to go. This is the way we're going to go. And I've had people come up and be like, hey, boss, I don't think we should do it this way. And I'm like, whatever, dude. We're going to go this way because this way is right. I know that a dozen is 11. It's fine. 11 is a dozen. I already know that. And they're like, man, boss, I think a dozen's 12. And I'm like, nope, it's 11. We're going to go 11. Go 11. Final answer, lock it in. And they're like, it's 12. I'm like, son of a bitch. Why didn't you guys try to tell me? And they're like, we did.
You didn't listen. You said you didn't need us.
Yeah, basically. And I'm like, all right. So instead, try to make sure you're trying to consistently better yourself and your team. Not just yourself, but also your team.
Was it 2 ears, 1 mouth, so you can hear twice as much as people speak? However that saying goes, I'm pretty sure I butchered it, but the same idea exists. So if you don't focus on your team, you're not going to help yourself, and you're not going to help yourself if you don't focus with your team. So it's all a big recycling circle of efforts.
Right. Another thing that a leader needs to avoid is forgetting to take care of themselves. And I'm talking about as in spiritual, mental, social, and physical health. Whatever that means to you, that means to you. I see this a lot of times with either leaders. I see it a lot with mothers too, where they will work themselves sick and refuse to take themselves to the doctor, and what should have been a simple cold turns into pneumonia or bronchitis or something else, and it takes them 10 times longer to get over, when if they would have just gone to the doctor, so it would have been fine. They would have been back at full strength for after 2-3 days. But now you're laid up for 3 weeks.
Yes, and you're forced to take that time off when all you had to do is from the beginning, if you took care of yourself from the beginning. Now, I will say for as myself, because there's been a lot of talk of mental health, mental awareness throughout the past couple of years. I don't want to say it's a new thing. It's always been there. But if I had to pick one of those for myself, it was definitely the mental one, because I keep a lot of things to myself, which I am 100% working on, because I want to be a rounded, I can speak, leader.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Practice what you preach.
Yes. One of those.
Oh, okay. A lot of people have morning routines. There's a lot of people, and I don't know. I see it in movies. I see it when I listen to people like Simon Sinek or Dave Ramsey, or just people who garner a large following. They usually have a morning routine that takes care of these areas. It's a morning run, a small prayer or meditation session, a phone call to a friend or a colleague or a parent, getting them ready for the day, or going to the gym, just whatever it is, that helps them kind of get ready for the day, prep themselves for the day, and then at the very end they can sit there and go, okay, and they reflect on the end of the day. There's a lot of these people, leaders that I've seen, that they schedule out a block of time for free thinking, and it's usually just wherever their mind kind of goes, and whatever they need to do, they just do. They take care of themselves.
Yeah, if you're one of the people that believe you have to take care of everything yourself, it's not going to get done unless I do it, or nothing is ever done unless I do it, or any of those type little mantras that you say to yourself, you're being more of a manager instead of a leader, because a leader is supposed to inspire others to take care of business, whereas a manager just takes care of business. So you're just basically just changing out your hats, and you probably want to take a moment and reflect on that free thinking time frame that you were speaking of, and just see what's really going on in your head. You still don't have an Apple Watch yet. You have that other watch.
I have a Garmin.
The Apple Watch gives a moment, and you've witnessed this yourself in person. It'll tell you to stand up, It'll also sometimes throughout the day, it'll ask you to take a breath, take a deep breath, take a 5-minute pause of life. The watch will do all that. Fortunately, I turned it all off. A little annoying to me because it was doing it at the wrong times of day. But yeah, I think we was at a cigar lounge or a coffee shop or some shit. And I just stood the fuck up, and he was like,
the hell are you doing?
I was like, my watch told me to stand up. So I did it.
Yeah.
Kind of cleared the space, cleared the thought process in there, and then we got back to business.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. You can't be afraid to delegate. You can't be afraid to say, hey, I need to take this time. I'm having a problem processing this big sale, this loss of a big sale, or this process, or this whatever, this loss of a product. I just need some time to be with myself and my thoughts and recoup and re-energize and recharge. That's why a lot of times, you get vacation days, but people use those for like, hey, I'm hungover on a Monday after
Super Bowl,
the Super Bowl or something, and they're like, I'm going to stay home. Like, no, use that time to go out into nature, camping, whatever. I don't know, go into the city and find something new that you like to do, whatever it is. Do that and recharge your batteries.
One thing a leader should avoid is showing gratitude.
No, they should not
avoid. It's like almost a double negative.
It was a double negative. So a leader that avoids showing gratitude is toxic. I'm throwing it out there. I know it's a buzzword for a lot of people, and they're like, meh, whatever. It's toxic. It's fucking toxic. And the reason I say this is because when you have somebody who comes up and they do something for you, hey, did you prep my speech? Did you prep this presentation? Blah, 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 blah. And they kill it, and that sets you up for success and everything else, and you take all the credit. You didn't show any gratitude to that person. So they're going to sit there and just be like, I'm not working for you anymore. It's in every Lifetime movie, every fucking Hollywood movie, the boss is overbearing, never gets to show any gratitude, and then come around, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we all seen it. It literally costs nothing to be nice and to recognize other people's contributions.
I show gratitude. I'm not saying I don't show gratitude, but I'm not going to show gratitude for something that you already are supposed to be doing. Like, oh, you paid your light bill. Good job paying your light bill. That's something you're fucking supposed to do. So right. I'm not going to... When I think of showing gratitude, I mean when someone goes above and beyond of what the normal circumstances could be. Like if someone wrote me a speech, by all means, hell yeah, fucking good job on writing that speech. Yes, yeah, I'm going to show my gratitude for that. But I hate the leaders that try to show gratitude and they weren't even present. Like the CEO coming down saying, hey guys, we did a great job on the sales or whatever. Motherfucker, you was playing 9 rounds of golf. What do you mean we? I don't want that gratitude. You can go ahead and keep that gratitude and give it to whoever wants it. Because I don't want that gratitude. I want the gratitude from the guy that was right there in the thick of this whole thing. Through
the trenches with you.
We worked through this together. He's the leader. I follow his example, and we both came out alive at the end. Man, that was a good job. Thanks, sir. That was good on you too.
Yeah. No matter how big of a deal you think you are, you got to remember your success is dependent on other people. People are like, well, I worked for whatever. No, I get it. You have somebody who's dependent upon. You are dependent upon somebody else for your success. Whether that is your underlings, your subordinates that are making you look good, that help prop you up. Whether that's the customers or the consumers that are buying your product, are propping you up, or whatever the case is, you are not as big of a deal as you think you are without their assistance. And it costs, like I said, it costs nothing to be nice.
It just made me think of like the right-hand henchman for villains and stuff when you was talking about that. Yeah. Pull the lever, Crunk. Wrong lever. I don't know why that ended my head, but yeah, after you got finished, that's what I thought of.
Fair enough. Yeah, so yeah, don't you got to show the gratitude for the people who work underneath you, and whatever that means. like you were talking about earlier, the CEOs who come down, they say, oh, we did a great job this quarter, blah, blah, blah. The company's going to enjoy a really big bonus. Bitch, no. Because I know where that bonus is going. That's going into your paycheck, and fuck you. I give the bonus to the people who made the bonus happen. Like, come on now. So show the gratitude in a real way. If it's an award, if it's money, time off. Hey guys, we did such a badass job. We finished the quarter out early. There's still 12 days of the quarter. Why don't we just go ahead and I'm going to cut the last 6 of those days off, and we're going to split it in the middle. We work for the next 6 days and take the last 6 days and do whatever the fuck you guys want with your family. You get a 6-day free vacation, still paid. Boom. Hey, yeah. I'm about that life. I'm like, let's go.
You just got followers forever.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, shit, you saying if I enter the quarter 12 days early, I get 6 days off. So if I end it a month early, I get 15 days?
Let's not get carried away.
Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I ended it like this. And then they come down, if they, hey guys, we ended it a month early, so we're going to knock off you guys take the last 12 work days or 13 work days off. Yeah. Okay. Done. Yeah. I'm out.
But even if you're not in a position to have something like that happen, I mean, even if you're the leader of, I don't know, 6 or 7 people, be like, hey guys, lunch is on me this Friday. We're all getting pizza. We're all going to the garden and it's on me. I mean, even just small showings of gratitude can also show big appreciation to those.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just something, even a gift basket, a little extra, just a handwritten note that actually personally, I like the handwritten notes that personally acknowledge that person's contribution from the team leader. Because if that team leader pays enough attention to your team and they can write out, Timmy, man, you were killer on those phone calls. Way to go on the cold calls. You have a natural talent for this. Keep up the great work. Helen, you were so awesome at keeping us organized and and tracking this, that, and the other thing. I'm so happy to have you on my team. Keep up the great work. Just something like that. You go around to the whole team, you do that, they're going to be like, oh, what did yours say? Oh, it's not the same? Holy shit, he actually paid attention? Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah. Handwritten. Not dictated, but not read. No, get fucked.
It was written by my secretary.
I always love those.
Yeah. I mean, a handwritten note nowadays goes a long way.
Yeah. You hardly ever get those anymore.
Correct.
All right. So another thing leaders should avoid is lying, cheating, and gossiping.
Whew.
I know those are 3 big ones.
Well, yeah, and I love that one. I love this whole segment right now because it pays dividends in the long run.
Oh,
I call the baby ugly. That baby's ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I especially the last one for me is gossip. Gossip is such an easy thing to get into, right? So, but when you guys understand, if you're a leader and you engage in idle gossip, right, it takes away all your credibility with your subordinates. It takes it all away. Oh well, the boss says blah 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 blah. Well, if the boss didn't make sure it was true or whatever, then it just took away all their credibility. Then the next time you come down, you're like, hey, we gotta have some layoffs. Like, yeah, whatever. Are you even sure? Like, do you even know? Because how can we be sure now?
Yeah.
It's just sucks. There's a test that I like to put. This is I'm trying to remember who I think it was an ancient Grecian. I forget who it was, but he always asked you, said, before you pass any sort of information, does it pass he called it a 3-sieve test, like a sieve, like a sifter type thing. But he says, does it pass the 3 tests? Is it verifiably true? Is the piece of information you're going to tell me, did you verify it to be 100% true, or did you just hear it from Jill, who heard it from Sally, who heard it from Bob, who heard it from, Joe, and we have no fucking idea if it's actually true or not. So is it verifiably true? 1. 2, is it good? Does it make the person look good? Hey, I heard this person did a really good job on that presentation. Hey, I heard Joe is, going to volunteer at Toys for Tots or the soup kitchen. Is it good, like heartwarming type information? No, it's bad. Oh, well, okay. So then, is it useful information? Is it like, hey, so and so got a horrible burn on their face, and maybe don't make a reaction to when they come in, and they're very conscientious about it. Oh, okay, cool, got it. Maybe I can not be shocked, and I can expect the worst instead of like, hey, Joe goes home one day and comes back the next day, and you're like, the fuck happened to your face? Like I'm not, like that's a very very extreme part, but is it true? Is it good? Is it heartwarming? And is it useful information? If it doesn't pass any of those three tests, don't pass that information along. Don't even entertain it, because it has no business being spread.
Yeah, there's oftentimes where I hear something similar or whatever, and I'm like, why are you telling me this? Just why are you sharing this information with me? What is the point behind this? Because I didn't know about your test. I should have read up on it a little bit more beforehand. But that's basically, I'm running that test when I say, why are you sharing this information with me? Right. Because it makes no sense. Obviously, it doesn't sound truthful. It is not good information. And there's nothing about it is useful. So why the fuck are you sharing this with me? And you want me to start spreading the same thing this nonsense that you're telling me now? So, yeah, I don't have time for that.
Right. Socrates is a person.
Socrates.
Socrates. You can call it the filter test, right? Filter. So C's a little outdated. Call it the filter test. So is it true? Is it good? Is it useful? If it's not, why are you telling me this? Why are you, why are you sitting here saying, hey, did you hear about Jill? I heard she's having an affair on her husband. No, I don't care. Why? What business of it is it mine to say all this stuff, to sit there and know this information? Does it help me in any way? No. Yeah. Okay, then is it actually true? I don't know. It reminds me of I know you haven't seen The American Office. Michael Scott, the boss, heard a rumor about one of his guys was having an affair, and so he starts blasting it around the office. And then he confronted the guy and said, "Hey, are you actually having an affair?" And he's like, His guy's like, "Please don't tell anybody. I'm going to end it. I messed up. My wife knows about it. I'm going to end it right now. I'm going away." And so because of that, he freaks out, and so he starts spreading a false rumor about every single person in the office. Terrible rumors about every single person in the office except for himself. And they all get spread around the office, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're this person's gay, or this person is a transvestite, or this person's, I don't even remember, like anorexic or bulimic or whatever," and like all of these other things. And people are like, "No, who told you all of this?" And they traced it all back to him eventually, and he kind of got outed. But it was just like, it just took all of this credibility away. So yeah, it's good. It's a good test to follow. It's a call it 3 filter test. I like the 3 filter test.
All right, I can stick with that. The thing with leaders, especially with what you just shared, the thing with leaders is when they lie or when they make up something or just dishonest about whatever they're trying to hide, it eventually will come out. It will be out by all the employees. It'll be out by the customer. Or eventually the leader's going to have to pretty much tell on himself after a while. Right.
Everything comes out in the wash, right?
Yeah.
That's how the saying goes. But that's the thing about leaders. You are to serve. You are meant to be the role model of your company. You serve to be the standard for the employees to model after. The boss doesn't do this, so I don't do this. But if you're cheating and you're skimming off the top a little bit, and somebody finds out, hey, boss is taking like 10% of every sale, and he's calling it this other thing. Oh, well, if the boss is doing it, we could take 5%, and no one's ever going to know because the boss does it. We could do it. And then everybody tries to get a piece. There's nothing left for the company. The company goes under. And they're like, "Well, how did this happen?" Well, the boss didn't set a good example.
House gets 10%. But the thing is being a leader, you have to be that the be all end all truth to all. So when I come to you, I can inspect, like you tell me the realness, what is really going on, the truthfulness. Like I'm tired of hearing all these rumors, boss. What's really going on? Like, is the baby ugly? Yes, the baby's ugly. That's what I expect from leadership, from the top down. Really, to be honest with you, from the top down, because that's what you expect.
Yeah, it's you can expect politicians to lie. I 100% expect politicians to lie. I somewhat expect CEOs to lie. But if I'm working for somebody and the CEO is like, yeah, we're going to have a great quarter, we're set up so great, and then you have the worst quarter on record, you're like, what the fuck were you talking about, dude? Yeah. Like, and anybody in the know, they're sitting there, hey guys, I'm so good. I'll tell you this. I just had this kind of happen to me, and it made me lose all credibility for my current boss. I shit you not. But they said, I just went down and talked to another place of business, and they were asking me how I think that they should conduct their business, what kind of processes they should put in place. And they said, you know what's so great is all I had to do was look at our processes and just tell them to do what we do. And it was so easy because we're so great and everything's wonderful. Meanwhile, in that time, we're posting some of the lowest quality assurance rates in the company right now in our place of business. And I'm like, what do you mean? Obviously our processes are broken. Obviously something is wrong, and you're telling other people to do what we're doing? No, fuck that. That's a terrible idea. Like, no, why? And so of course, they're just trying to butter everybody up. Oh, we're so good and we're so great. And I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. Either you're an idiot or you're dishonest. Either way, I don't want to follow you.
Numbers don't lie, my friend. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, and I even looked at one of my buddies, and I just kind of like side-eyed him, and he side-eyed me, and we just kind of and I gave him a little nod, and he just shook his head, and we both started laughing, and just looked down, and we just were like, right there, you just lost 2 middle managers from following your lead ever. I was like, are we serious right now? Like, this is what you're gonna say in front of everybody? All right. You're an idiot. Got
it. But in fairness, not everyone is going to know that, right? Unless they know the numbers.
Right. Which is why I'm like, but again, it's going to get ousted because probably within a week of the boss saying that, somebody was like, well, the boss said, and I was like, pause. Let me show you what the numbers say. And I got to educate them. And I was like, I'm not doing this to put you down or to put the boss down or anything else. I'm trying to be real with you and just be transparent. Here's where I think the boss is wrong. Take from this what you will, but this is what I think. And I said, here's my numbers to back it up. And they go, why would the boss say something? We need to do something about this. We got to have better practices in place and blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay. And therein lies the problem. And nobody, no boss, no CEO wants to come down to a branch or to wherever and go, guys, you fucking suck. Like, nobody wants to put anybody down because they probably know that they suck, but I get it. But it's, guys, you got to do better. You fucking suck.
That's ways to say it. We need to tighten things up. We're moving in the right direction. Right now, we're at a low point. There's other ways you can go about still saying the baby's ugly without just blatantly telling somebody off. I don't know.
It's a one-on-one. You tell that. No, you tell the branch manager they suck.
Yeah. Avoid. Leaders should avoid not being accessible.
Yes, I agree with this.
Yeah,
you got to be available.
The team will have no new ideas. The team, otherwise, it won't be brought up, and the environment it could be turned toxic if the leadership isn't available for them. Everyone involved could start just anarchy.
Well, the thing to me is that if you have a gatekeeper, right? So I was watching Masterclass, and it was George W. Bush's Masterclass, and he was talking about a time where his dad, HW, was saying, "I got a problem with my team at the White House. I have no idea." And at the time, W was the owner of the Texas Rangers, and so his dad asked him to come in and say, "Could you take a look at my team and interview my team, kind of figure out where my shortcomings are? Where's the weak part?" Yeah, so he came in and he interviewed the whole team and was asking questions and and he came back to his dad, and his dad said, "Well, how'd we do?" And he goes, "You're not available enough." He said, "You're the president of the United States of America, and nobody on your team feels like they can come just walk into your office and tell you an idea, get an answer, and go about their business. They feel like they have to go through your gatekeepers, whoever the chief of staff or whoever it is, and so it's actually slowing down processes, and you're not able to react quickly enough to whatever is happening out there. So that's why you're stagnant. That's why nobody is trying to do all this stuff, and nobody's trying to help you out, because nobody feels like they can come talk to you."
I can definitely understand that, because if there's no one there for you to bounce your ideas off of, or even get your voice heard, then what's the point of being a leader if you're not even going to listen to your people?
Right, and that's the thing. And sometimes it's not even you being inaccessible. It's your secretary. It's your, your second in command. If you're a project manager leading multiple teams, it's your team leaders not funneling things up correctly. And that's where you got to get out from behind your desk. You got to go walk the streets. You got to go figure out, shake hands, rub elbows, figure out what people are working on. Get the updates directly from the team members. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them if they're having any problems. Figure out what the hell's going on. It takes a little bit of time and energy, yes, and are we busy as leaders? 100% we are. But you got to be able to be accessible to your team, because otherwise you're just a figurehead.
Well, yeah, when you said accessible, leaders just come down. I have seen where someone in charge, or a leader, if you want to call them that, would be like, "We need to get A, B, and C done," and then you don't see them for months.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come back and be like, "So how did A, B, and C, are they done?" And you're like, "Well, A, the machine broke. B, 3 people died, and C, we ran out of material. So no, it didn't get done." Like, why didn't I know this? Well, you disappeared.
Yeah, you can't delegate the task and then walk away completely. You're abandoning your people at that point. The problem is you guys, like, people are they things happen. This is the real world. This is not a laboratory experiment when all the variables are controlled. Things happen. Hey, hey guys, I can't get X, Y, and Z done because I don't have the, like you said, the materials or the machine or whatever. Or, hey, I need you said print t-shirts. You said print 100 t-shirts. What color the fuck did you want the t-shirts? You didn't know I wanted them green? Bitch, no, I was going to go with white. What do you mean? No, green? What the fuck? Nobody told me that you wanted green shirts. And I was trying to ask you, but your secretary or your chief of staff or your team lead or whoever, I asked them and they said just print 100 of every color. So now you have 1,700 t-shirts in all of the different colors. That's a waste of money. I can't believe we're going to have a bad quarter now. Well, if you were more accessible, I could ask you the question, or if your team lead had funneled it up to you like they said they were going to, this all could have been avoided. But I asked a question. I didn't get a good answer. I did what I was told. And now we have 1,700 t-shirts in fuchsia or whatever the fuck color. I don't know what you want from me. You've got to be accessible.
What I wanted from you was 100 green shirts. Did you get at least that?
No.
Then fuck, you're useless to me. Good job.
Right, yeah. I think another thing that you should avoid doing is a mistake that people make. If you don't give regular feedback about performance.
I've actually said that quite a bit. Different jobs I had. If you don't tell me that I am A, doing a good job, not necessarily pats on the back, but at least a good job, or B, I'm doing a bad job, then I'm going to continue moving forward with whatever direction I feel fit.
Right. Yeah. People achieve the high performance only if they know the truth about their effectiveness. If you ignore that, you're robbing their people the key to their future. Hey, I think you're a really great organizer and you keep us on task. And that's really wonderful. And you track things and you're very well organized. And I love that about you. However, when it comes to making widgets, you're falling a little short. Your widgets are not up to par. So out of the 50 widgets you made, only 10 are viable. So that's 40 widgets that I lost, worth of materials that I lost. But you've organized this and actually made everybody else make more widgets. So that's kind of covered up for the loss. But I think you either need to get better at making widgets, or I need to move you into just a managerial, like, organizer tracker type role, so your talents can be put to better use.
And that's perfect for a leader to step in that type of situation, to understand the placement of the people, which we will have an episode on that eventually.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get us wrong. We've talked about feedback, and we're not going to hit on it too much because there's a whole episode on feedback. Go back, watch that episode. Listen to that episode. Watch it while we talk on Spotify. Feedback sucks, especially painful feedback, like when it's bad feedback. It sucks. But if you can deliver it in such a way where people are like, oh, okay, I get where my shortcomings are, but I have really other good talents. Maybe I need to pursue those talents, and I actually enjoy that stuff more anyways. Okay, cool. Or if they say, hey, no, I really enjoy the stuff that I'm bad at, but I don't really like the stuff that I'm good at. It just comes easily to me. Then go, okay, then let's develop you into a better widget maker, whatever the case is.
I like widgets.
So,
well, it's good, sir.
Yeah. With that, are you in your final third?
I am definitely in my final third, sir. And I must tell you that I think it's due to the fact of the length of the cigar. My oak has turned to like a charred oak. And I still have leather, but instead of leather, it's like a leathery roasted nuts. Maybe you like pistachio. Yeah, it's good. This cigar was great.
Interesting. Mine has for it being called Charter Oak, I'm getting a lot of cedar. It's cedar with a hint of black pepper.
Well, throughout the episode, I saw you messing with it quite a bit. So I would say that you had construction issues with that one.
I did. That's why, this is why we say always buy two. I have a new cigar. I have another one. It's in the humidor. It's been resting. I'm getting a little bit of, I get cedar, almost like, this also did have a closed foot at the beginning. So, I could have thrown the taste off at the very beginning, but cedar, leather, and black pepper. That's what I'm getting.
All right. It's always a good combo for a cigar.
It's not a bad. Yeah, I'm not mad at the combo.
No,
it's a little too cedary for me. But cedar's, I know, it's such a prominent flavor in cigars. I get that. Give me the hate mail. I don't care.
Wow, I love cedar. What is this guy talking about?
It's just a little goes a long way for me. Like the cedrus is just damn near like I'm choking down a literally like a plank of cedar.
Good with some salmon.
All right. But we talked about common mistakes leaders make, and how to make sure you don't do that. And then also we talked about the image and a little bit of the history and how the cigars became a status symbol the way they have.
Yeah, I want to look like the cover of Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z's album. with my cigar. Big Willie style.
But yeah, so it is always wonderful, as always, my friend, to sit here and chat with you.
The same on my end, sir.
All right, until next time, I'm Austin.
And this is Dice.
We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.